Hello students, this is Ujjwala Bhandiwad, lecturer from KLS Gokte PU College of Commerce and Science, Belagavi. In the last class, we have started with a new chapter, that is Basic Concepts of Object-Oriented Programming. In that, we have learned already 4 important characteristics of OOPs. They are objects, class, data abstraction, and data encapsulation. In today's class, let us learn the remaining characteristics of object-oriented programming. So now let us begin with our next characteristic, that is inheritance. Inheritance means the process of forming a new class from an existing class is known as inheritance. That means objects of one class acquires the properties of another class through the inheritance. Here we must remember that the existing class is known as base class, and the new class, whatever we have obtained from the existing class, is known as derived class. Here the derived class shares some properties of the base class. The base class is also known as superclass, and the derived class, that is the new class which we have obtained from the base class, is known as subclass. This is shown in this below diagram. We can create any number of objects from a base class. Okay, in that case we can create any number of classes from a base class. Okay, let us consider one example. Suppose I have one class, say shapes. I can have different classes like rectangle, triangle and star. Like that I can have many classes. All these classes belongs to one base class, that is shapes. So here shape is the base class, whereas rectangle, triangle and star are the subclasses, or they are the derived classes. Next characteristic is overloading. Okay, overloading allows the object to have a different meaning depending upon the context. See, if any errors means any mistake remains during the compile time, then they can be easily rectified, means they can be easily identified and get corrected. Hence, the runtime errors are eliminated. Okay, this is going to increase the program efficiency. Okay, means what? The performance of the program will be increased because there are no errors. Okay, in generally, the overloading is classified into 2 different categories. One is operator overloading and second one is function overloading. We have for our syllabus function overloading, an entire chapter is dedicated for that you can consider it in the next classes. Okay. Next characteristic is polymorphism. Polymorphism is a feature of object-oriented programming where a function can take multiple forms based on a type of argument, number of argument and a data type of return value. Okay. For example, suppose take addition operation if we consider. Okay. Here addition of 2 numbers will give sum of the 2 numbers. Okay. Similarly, if I want to add 2 strings, string means the characters which we are enclosing them in the double quotes, they are called as a string. Okay, if suppose I have two strings, say for example, well is one string, come is one string. When I combine these two strings together, then the entire new string, that is concatenation means combining the two strings will give me the new string, that is welcome. Okay, so here polymorphism means any function you take, it will take multiple forms, not only a single form, multiple forms it will take. Okay, so let us have one more example. Suppose I consider one boy. In a school he behaves like a student, in a bus he behaves like a passenger, but in house he behaves as a son. Okay, this is how a function behaves. It will take a multiple forms depending on the context, and this characteristic is known as polymorphism. Next characteristic is dynamic binding. Okay, a dynamic binding is a process of connecting one program to another program. Dynamic binding means code is associated with a procedure call and is only at the time of program execution routine it will be known. Hence, this is called as dynamic binding. Next characteristic is message passing. Message passing means in object-oriented programming, the messages are passed by sending the one instruction or message to the object. Okay, message means it is a request. Message means one request is sent to the object, okay, to perform certain procedure or to perform any certain operation. Okay, message passing involves specifying the object name. See, we are sending one instruction to the object means we must know first whom we are sending. Hence, we should know the name of the object, the name of the function means name of the message, as well as what type of instruction we are sending, that is nothing but what type of message we are sending, everything should be known. This is being involved in the message passing. So till now here we have completed all the characteristics of object-oriented programming. Students, this will be asked for 5 marks, so please remember. Now let us learn some advantages of object-oriented programming over earlier programming methods. We know that earlier it was procedure-oriented programming, so we are not using procedure-oriented programming, we are using now object-oriented programming, and it has got various advantages. These advantages are important from annual exam point of view for a 5 marks. So let us learn them one by one. The programs are modularized. Programs are modularized based on a principle of classes and objects. Linking the code and object allows the related object to share a common code. This reduces duplication and code reusability. Means, let me explain. See, here in object-oriented programming, one object is related with the another object. Okay, hence objects are being shared in the object-oriented programming. This helps us to reduce the code duplication. Duplication of code. Code means a program with a set of instructions. Okay. Next, third characteristic is data is encapsulated along with functions. Hence, external non-member function cannot access or modify the data. Okay. Means what? We know that every object has got two important things. One is member data and second one is member function. Data and functions are combined together into single unit, that is called as object. Any external instruction cannot access your function or data directly. Okay, hence this provides what? Our function and data a security. It provides a security. After third characteristic, we will go with the fourth characteristic, that is easier to develop the complex software because complexity can be minimized to inheritance. Okay, see, any complicated program we can develop with the help of this object oriented programming because it is reduced with the help of inheritance. Now just now we have learned what is inheritance. Inheritance means the ability of a class, means we can create new classes by using the existing class. Okay, we can create any number of classes. By using that concept, we can create any number of classes, and this is inheritance. Through that, we can reduce the complexity. Similarly, fifth characteristic is creation and implementation of OOP code is easy, which reduces the software development time. Means we can create the programs of object-oriented program and we can use them and utilize them very easily. Hence, it reduces the time of development we require to develop any particular software. Okay. Last one is OOP can communicate through messages passing, which will interface description with the outside system. Very simple. See, just now in the characteristic of OOP, we learned that each and every object communicate through some messages, means it passes the messages and then it communicates. Okay, this will be helpful with the outside system because messages are sent and received. Hence, communication is very much simple in a object oriented programming. Since it has got advantages, there are certain limitations of object-oriented programming. See, limitations are nothing but the disadvantages of object-oriented programming. One more word is limitations. First limitation, first disadvantage is OOP software is not having some set of standards. Okay, it doesn't have set of standards. Second disadvantage is adaptability of flowchart diagrams and object-oriented programming using class and object is complex process. Obviously, it uses the concept of class and object. Hence, the concept is little bit complex to understand. Okay. Third one is convert our real world problem into object-oriented model is a little bit difficult. Means if we take any real world problem and try to convert, then by using object-oriented programming methodology, it is quite difficult. Okay, here classes are overly generalized. Okay, this is also one of the limitation we can cite here. So these are some limitations. So students, while preparing for an annual exam point of view, prepare it advantages as well as disadvantages or limitations of object-oriented programming. Now let us learn finally certain applications of object-oriented programming. Okay, so object-oriented programming first advantage is it is used in a computer graphic applications. Okay, second one is CAD/CAM or softwares. These are softwares which we utilize in the mechanical engineering. Okay, then object-oriented database we will use. Real-time systems, simulation and modeling. Simulation and modeling means in the video games and all, we will see the scenario, okay, and we play to it as a real. That is called simulation. Okay, then artificial intelligence and expert system. These are the various areas where we use our object-oriented programming. Okay. So finally, let us recall our today's class with a certain question and answers. First question is, what is inheritance? Inheritance means it is a process of forming a new class from an existing class is known as inheritance. Okay. Then second question is define polymorphism. Polymorphism means a feature of object oriented programming where function can take multiple forms, okay, based on the type of argument and number of argument, etc. Then what is meant by function overloading means function overloading means two or more functions have a same name but differ in number of arguments or data type of arguments, okay. Then last question is explain advantages of OOPS. Here as I told, you need to prepare advantages, disadvantages, and for 2 mark they may ask the applications of OOPS. As we have already learned, it is used in artificial intelligence, it is used in CAD/CAM softwares, it is also used in computer graphic applications, okay. These are the various areas where the object oriented programming is used, okay. So here students, this chapter, that is basic concepts of OOPS chapter, is completed. It is a small chapter. Important questions we have already discussed: advantages, disadvantages, what are the characteristics of OOPS. So you need to prepare them for 5 marks, okay. And in the next class we will be learning the next chapter. Thank you.